Music plays such a massive role in a live entertainment show. And maybe what one might not notice is how big the role of music is when it's not a performance, because the performance ones are very obvious. You're paying attention, you know it's a performance. With the opening number, we decided to go African Dream. That just felt like what feels 23, 25 years ago. African Dream, but it still gives those goosebump feels. I mean, African Dream was our lottery song. We were hearing it for a long time, but it still gives those nostalgic goosebump feels. And then to go into We're Growing, that is just such a classic. And we really were like, let's go for classic oldies that we can all relate to and love and feel together again. Siki Joanne is a phenomenal performer. She was on The Voice, which Black Swan produced. She also was on the remix on SABC1, which Black Swan also produced. And she's a phenomenal performer. And we thought that it would be great to have her come through and perform African Dream, so a song she's performed before, as well as We Are Growing. She later on in the show does her rendition of Click's song, an ode to Miriam Makeba. And that one was a standalone performance. But for the opening with African Dream, we just thought there is something that happens just before we get to the chorus. It just, it spoke to the theme, My African Dream, hello, the baobab, nostalgic Africa, it fit together.
So the most important thing, you'll see when the camera is up properly, is that you're outside of the spotlight and then you like appear. So you see the light is, yes, you step into the light. So you'll be able to see yourself there. Make it very intimate, the crown is here, there's no crown. And then you just make sure you're gonna have you're moved here by now. You're gonna follow him, play with him. You've got seats here, so you can also acknowledge as you walk past. He's shooting the crowd.
I'm very warm.
I know you can sing
for African Dream.
Huh?
I have to for African Dream at the end.
Why?
Because the notes are too high. They have to be in my head.
So, do you need me to change the key for you? Because I want you in
full voice.
Then Swimwear, we really wanted Jimmy Nevis to be a part of the show. And now, this is a very tricky thing that happens with this show. Because many people will be like, why didn't you have this person? Or why didn't you have that person? It's tricky because performers who are performing, it's not about you. It's actually the finalists. It's about them, it's their night. So they have to find that healthy balance of blending into the rest of the show and being a participant but not being the main stars. So Jimmy Nevis is a phenomenal vocalist, like such a professional, wonderful to work with. I've known him for many years.
I have so much to say about Libs just because she is somebody I've known for many years, and I've known her in this context, in her being like somebody who's running the show. And so when I saw her when we were doing our first rehearsals here for Miss SA, I was actually just laughing because I'm like who is this person and how is she so talented? And I mean, she's just a force. And we met years ago. And for me, it's just been a joy. Anytime you get to work with the same people on different shows or whatever it may be, it's always just such a blessing. And it's like you get to see people just grow together, and it's like you get to do it all over again. So I love her. I think she is, she's the boss. When I think about challenges for this Miss SA performance, behind the scenes, I've just had a crazy weekend, so it's just been, I'm still doing other shows and stuff. So I've been trying to preserve my voice because I haven't sung Small Spaces live really that much before. So and this is like live. So, the chorus is very high. So it's a warming up, and it's just making sure that I'm really in the moment and deliver on those vocals. Touch Me still fine. Touch Me, we just R&B king. We're just doing our own thing. It's pure vibes. But Small Spaces is such a beautiful song. I just wanted to get all the notes and just make it as heartfelt as possible. There's a couple of highlights from my performance tonight. I think the opening is really dope. I love the way that it opens up, and it's, you know, so simple with the music, you know, love me in the small spaces, and then it kind of just goes into this whole like vibe. And you know, for me, just interacting with the girls, I find like, you know, I don't know, I feel like it's just, I can't take myself too seriously sometimes, you know, like if you're blowing a kiss and stuff, like sometimes I feel weird about it. But it's just the vibe, and I think I'm just trying to be, you know, just be in the moment. And, you know, for me it's funny, I love it. I also just love anytime I get to interact with the crowd. I think that's one of my biggest, like as a performer, that's something that really like gets me energized. The preparation that went into my performance for Miss SA was kind of taking what I usually do at my concerts and just like sharpening it, you know, up. Usually I feed off the crowd, with this I kind of had to plan things a little bit more. But yeah, I have dances, there's amazing staging, obviously the girls are walking, so it's just a lot of things to think about, which I don't always have to do when I'm performing. I'm just like, you know, doing my own thing. So it was just cool to like, you know, see the whole thing come together, and yeah, you know, remembering my steps and my lyrics. The set list for today at Miss SA was selected by the team, but it was also, I kind of pushed for it because Small Spaces, I just launched it as a single, and so it's a brand new single, and it's just got the vibes, you know. It's like influenced by South African jazz that I grew up in, and I think it's pretty on point because, you know, the aim of the show, I think, or the theme was nostalgia, so there's like a lot of links, you know, with that, and then also Touch Me, which is like my version of a South African classic. So, you know, it's, I don't know about a message, I think it's just to have fun and not take everything too seriously. I think that the performance and the music, I think they all kind of represent this new theme of Miss South Africa, and, you know, even just, I think what a modern day woman looks like in South Africa. And I mean, all of the contestants are stunning, and they seem like such fun people. In fact, out of, you know, I've performed at Miss SA before, and it's always been such an incredible production, and it's the whole thing, but this also does feel very fun, you know, backstage people are laughing, it's a vibe, it feels very real.
We wanted something different with Swimwear, and I think I took kind of the similar approach as last year, where it's not this big current club banger. There's that understated, really nice up-tempo song, and when you look at the scene, which is kind of like beachy, ocean behind the ladies, and the ladies in their embroidered kind of like resort wear costume for swimwear around, it just went together. Like all that was missing was me having a cocktail when that number was happening. Then evening wear, I mean, when I thought, like last year I was thinking, I want a man serenading these ladies. This year I was like, I want a woman uplifting these women, a powerhouse of a woman, and Brenda Mtambo was the first name that came to mind. And it's so fortunate that we got all the people that we wanted right at the beginning to be a part of the show. So Brenda Mtambo came through, and she was just fantastic, and just, oh man, like even just thinking about it. And then Robot Boy was our Super Bowl halftime performance, and he just speaks to young people, even not so young people love him. And initially, I'll be honest, when I was listening to his music and selecting his song, I was like, this tempo is sitting somewhere that's not really up tempo for me. Like it wasn't hitting that up tempo feel for me initially. Unlike, you know, last year Chencha Magia right at the top was like boom, energy. But Robert Boy, after like the third rehearsal, I could not stop dancing. Everybody in rehearsals was dancing. He's a vibe, he's a jam, he's professional, and you know, his dances are awesome. I was like, I want the ladies right at the front, his female dancers. As an outfit, they just brought it, and the visuals spoke to what they were doing on stage. But it's so interesting now when you think about the overall music of a show and how the in-between. So if you watch the show again, there is tension. It's specifically called tension bed music for a reason, so that in those moments where they say, and now we're going to announce the top 5, music changes, lighting changes. You don't notice it unless you pay attention, but you feel the anticipation of the moment. That's what music does. That when they announce Miss South Africa 2023 is tension music, dimmed light, scary moment. Natasha, lights go bright, music is up tempo, it is bright, pyrotechnic, it all goes together. Music, things like sound design play such a critical role to what it is you're watching. That's why some people can watch something on mute and you have a completely different experience if you're hearing the entire show and experiencing it in its fullness. So with music, it's important, and we tried some things that didn't work and tried other things that did work, and it just absolutely came together.